tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Haere mai ki Moana wiki. Hello everybody and greetings and welcome to Seaweek 2015. My name's Mels Barton and I'm the National Coordinator of Seaweek, which is the New Zealand Association for Environmental Education's flagship event. And I'm delighted to welcome you here to this exciting panel event where we're going to debate the issues affecting the Hauraki Gulf. And the moment that you're all waiting for will come after that, where we will announce the winner of the Seaweek Ocean Champion for 2015. But before that, I've got a few thank yous to make. Firstly, I have to thank our major sponsors, because without them, we just wouldn't have a Seaweek at all. So a very big thank you to the ASB Community Trust, the Department of Conservation, the Ministry for Primary Industries, the New Zealand Marine Studies Centre, the New Zealand Coastal Society, DSP Print Group Limited, and Auckland Council. And then, of course, I also have to thank the hosts of tonight's event, Sea Changed, Tai Timu Tai Pari, and the team, especially Kaina Hart and Carolyn Day, who have worked so hard to pull this together for you all tonight. I know it'll be very enlightening and a lot of fun. And of course, I also have to thank the sponsors of the Ocean Champion Award, the New Zealand Coastal Society, and they stepped in last year to sponsor this award and offer $500 to the winner. Their Deputy Chair, Hugh Learsnyder, will be here later this evening to present the award. So just a reminder that there are well over 160 events listed on the Seaweek website, over 70 of which have been in Auckland, and that's a complete record for us. We've never had so many events happening in Seaweek. It's just amazing how quickly it's growing. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter as well, where we're doing our best to promote everything, which is quite a challenge. The big event that I'd like you to know about, which will close our week in Auckland, is the Seaweek Activity Hub, which is happening in Silo Park on Sunday. It's from 12 until 6 in the evening, and there'll be a whole range of marine-oriented organisations there. It's a big, fun family event, so make sure you come along there. And there's also stuff happening in the viaduct, and we have the ocean race happening. So, yeah, it's really exciting in downtown this weekend. So without further ado, I think we should get on with the main event. And it gives me very great pleasure to introduce to you someone that really needs no introduction at all. She won Female Comedian of the Decade at the New Zealand Comedy Awards in 2010. She was a finalist in the Next Woman of the Year Awards last year. She's got a stack of other awards that I won't bore you with. She's a columnist for the press, and she's a full-time professional stand-up comedian and freelance writer whose work turns up just about everywhere. She is, of course, Michele A'Court.
I do a lot of gigs for people that I don't really like, but I like you already. I like you for just turning up. This is, in my head, very much like a village meeting. This is a chance to hear a range of views about what we should be doing to best care for the Hauraki Gulf. And one of the things that I really like about us as Kiwis is that we think of the environment as another room in our house, a space that we are responsible for. I read an article, it's probably a decade ago, but it stayed in my head. It was by a visitor to New Zealand who said that when you go round to somebody's house in New Zealand, you will be welcomed at the front door and then walked straight through the house, out the back door into their back garden. And they will settle you in the backyard. And it strikes me as something that I had always known but never quite articulated, that when I think of friends and relatives' homes, the place that I first visualise is their backyard. I spent my childhood either under a tree or climbing a tree. When I get together with friends, we go to the beach. Our social activities are barbecues in the back garden. You only go into somebody's house to use the loo or return a plate to the kitchen. We think of the outdoors as part of the place that we live. So as Kiwis, our backyard is literally and figuratively our living room. And as a long and thin island nation, the most sparkling part of our backyard is the ocean. And we meet friends at the beach, right? What many of us have assumed for a really long time is that the ocean is some kind of self-cleaning oven. We've thought of it as a place that would take care of itself, and there would be no mowing required, no vacuuming, no dusting. We didn't need to do any weeding even. But we've come to understand in recent times that we've been wrong about that. We have an impact on our community backyard and a responsibility to take better care of it. So how we take care of that backyard is what we're talking about tonight with our panellists. We're going to hear a range of perspectives. I'm so excited. Can you see? I started when I'm really excited. We'll hear a range of views, there you go, that was the word I was reaching for, on the issues facing Tikapa Moana, the Hauraki Gulf. We have 7 panellists, each with their own views on what needs to be done and how to do it. And although I want to make it really clear that although this event is brought to you as part of Seaweek with Sea Change, Tai Timu Tai Pari, I also want to make it really clear that the views of the panellists are exactly that. They are the views of the panellists, which makes it really exciting. There's that phrase, the views expressed may not necessarily reflect those of the organisers. That may well be true tonight, and that's why it will be a fun and robust discussion. Debate is good. So as moderator tonight, you can be sure that I won't favour any particular idea. In fact, I'll tell you what my philosophy is, just to show you how little influence I'm going to have over the discussion. I'm a really keen snorkeler. That's my thing. So my philosophy, ecologically, is that in terms of the ocean, you need to focus on the pretty fish. If they're pink or purple, I think they deserve to live. The rest of them can sort themselves out. So, obviously, what I know and think is not useful to tonight's discussion at all. So what I'm going to be able to look for then, quite objectively, is really big, clear ideas and some passion, and all of that will be balanced with good manners, won't it? Good, excellent. So let me introduce you to the 7 panellists in the order in which they will speak. Right here I have Steve Hathaway from Young Ocean Explorers. Next to him, Rochelle Kahui McConnell, Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei. Scott McIndoe from Legacy. Dr. Mark Orams, the Sir Peter Blake Trust. Dr. Roger Grace, a marine scientist and photographer. Judith Curran from Our Big Blue Backyard. And Sam Judd, Sustainable Coastlines down the end. Let me explain how tonight works, because we all want to have a good time tonight, but we also probably have things that we need to do on Friday. Am I right? So we can't take 2.5 days. So what we've got is each of our 7 panellists, one by one, I will invite them to give a short 2 to 3 minute speech answering the question, what do you think is the key issue facing Tikapa Moana, the Hauraki Gulf? And then for the remainder of what's left over of the 10 minutes, the rest of the panel will have an opportunity to ask that presenter questions, argue with them, debate their idea with them. I'm going to try really hard to ensure that we keep the focus on that first statement so that people don't Trojan horse their idea into that part of the discussion. Tonight is not about saying Brian's idea isn't as good as mine, so instead I'm going to talk about my idea all the time. It's actually about taking a moment to discuss Brian's idea. The other thing I need to point out is that there is nobody on the panel actually called Brian, just in case you were confused. So I will set the timer going at 2 minutes. Everybody will hear this, which is hilarious, am I right? And then at 3 minutes you will hear this, which means the presenter needs to stop speaking and open it up to discussion. And at the end of 10 minutes you'll hear this. Okay, are we good? And then a clown comes in and rides a unicycle, clearly. Once we've heard from all 7 of our speakers tonight, Nick Main, who is chair of Sea Change, will bravely attempt to wrap up the panel and summarise the issues raised. Best of luck. And then we will finish the evening on a really positive celebratory note with the presentation of the Seaweek Ocean Champions Award. So somewhere in the middle of that, we're going to take a tiny little, 5-minute break after speaking up at 4 or 5, and I'm going to try and do something comedic about what we've heard so far. I have no idea what that's going to be. So, good.